All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. This video is titled Gays Against Groomers Call Out Radical Child Grooming Agenda in Schools, and it comes to us from Blaze TV. Now, I chose this video to react to because most people would think that just because this is a group of gay people that they would fall right under the same category as trans people, that they would agree with all trans issues. But, you know, just because you're gay, it doesn't mean that you fully believe in the ideology and all of the perversion being pushed, especially onto children. So I really want to hear what they have to say about this. All right, so don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe while we're watching. Now let's get into it.
Born in the wrong body. I am not oppressed. I am not silenced. I am a gay man. My name is Frank Rodriguez. Today I represent two families of mine within Redlands, as well as my own. I am here today because of two reasons. One is to protect children against the idea that they can in fact change their gender. This is because gender is rooted in your biology. However, gender expression is not. How you choose to express yourself is your own choice. Society should just simply be nice to everyone. However, lying and stating that a man in a dress is a woman is delusional by definition. Not only delusional, but this ideology is dangerous to children. Despite what you may want to believe, children are in fact taking chemicals to alter their bodies. That's not delusional, it's reality.
Yep. And I just want to say as well that delusion can be very harmful. I know we've all heard of the saying ignorance is bliss. It may make you feel better in the short term to be delusional, but in the long run, once that delusion slaps you in the face, it'll hurt you more than help you, trust me.
Despite what you may want to believe, children are in fact getting gender-affirming surgeries. That is not delusional, that is reality. These children are starting a journey of judgment that you placed on them. By pushing kids to question their gender, question their sexuality, and question whether or not their parents are on their side. Therefore, the word predator is being used in the context of grooming, not because he or she is gay, but because the idea that gender is fluid, because in reality, it is not. It is a danger to children for the reasons that I stated above. Gays Against Groomers has educated the public on numerous occasions on what we stand for, and I will echo that here today. Gays Against Groomers is a coalition of gay people who do not stand for the sexualization, medicalization, or indoctrination of children. What adults do with their body is up to them, but leave the kids alone. Yes. The second...
You know, you may disagree with how this man may choose to live his life, but I can respect, and I think I respect it even more from a gay person, that he has the courage enough to stand up here and say what is true. You know, put his lifestyle choices to the side, and the group he chooses to align with, or the group that he aligns with, he chooses to put that to the side and preach and talk about what's best for children, and to talk about the truth and what's actually happening, because they try to call people like me and you conspiracy theorists because they'll say that, oh, this child grooming stuff isn't happening. But we've seen plenty of videos. And although it may not be a coordinated attempt from top to bottom, that doesn't mean that it's not happening. Just because you don't see coordination from top to bottom doesn't mean that it's not happening. It's happening at the top levels, and then you'll also just see teachers walking into the classrooms themselves and putting pride flags all over the place. There's definitely a push into this culture, and it comes from academia. So I understand his outrage completely.
Second reason I am here is that this sport, especially Jenna, is lacking something that not long ago I was taught by my mentors. That's leadership. Leadership is not what we do, what the job we have, or even the position we are elected to. Leadership is who we are, how we behave, engage and learn, but most importantly, influence. Councilwoman Jenna Lowry, I respect the position that you hold. I do not respect you. For what you have done to your constituents here in Redlands, silencing people that disagree with you. Our constituents are our job description. When you silence them, you are no longer a leader, you are a dictator. I demand that tonight after this meeting, Jenna, you resign from this position.
Wow.
First off, there are only two genders. Sex and gender are synonyms. Sex is immutable and binary. People with disorders in sexual development or intersex people are not a shield for your perversion. These are fundamental biological facts. You can call it bigoted or fascist or violent, but it's a universal truth. Our school system should be in service to the truth. Schools are not a place for you to practice pseudoscientific ideology. Affluent parents can homeschool, but disadvantaged kids are forcibly sucked into the gender cult in public school. Most parents are none the wiser because the institutions in this community endorse grooming online chat rooms like the Trevor Project, which encourages a lack of parental consent. But what happened?
Wow, the Trevor Project encourages a lack of parental consent.
Consent. But what happens in the best case scenario? Say the child is supported by her parents. Is transition the right solution? If a transgender child exists, I was one of them. I am a former trans kid. I was born female, but at the age of 12, social media influenced me into believing I was a boy, and I began my social transition by cutting my hair short and wearing clothing from the boys' department. When I came out, I was met with love and support from my family, but my mom and dad were unsure of what to do, so they confided in a team of medical professionals. My therapists and physicians decided it would be best to immediately affirm my identity and allow me to medically transition rather than letting me be a kid and explore without mutilation and sterilization. My parents and I were never told about the high desistance rate among children who identify as the opposite sex. Just several months after I was diagnosed with dysphoria, I was put on blockers and testosterone. I was 13. My body was mutilated by an ideological cult before my 16th birthday. I looked like any other boy my age, and I genuinely believed myself to be one. I would never have guessed I was wrong until I had surgery and I was faced with reality. I realized that deep down, I was always going to be a woman, and I wanted to be a mother. But the ability to breastfeed my future children was cut off at 15 years old. And on top of that, I've experienced complications from the blockers, testosterone, and surgery that will go on to affect my reproductive and overall health and my sexual function as an adult. My breasts are gone forever, and what is left is unhealed grafts and massive scars. It's only a fraction of what you promote. Redlands, as a community, needs to stop embracing harmful ideology and cult-like mentality that leads to children getting hurt. The $11 million you paid to the 7 middle schoolers sexually assaulted by your teacher could have gone to better your community. Instead, you've enabled this reprehensible behavior by sexualizing your schools. You paid a large monetary price, but I promise that the children have and will continue to pay a much higher price. I know this myself. I know I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, so that's it for the video. And, you know, like I said, I think what's most important about stories like this is that they come from people who've actually went through it. You can't discredit it. It's a lot easier for someone to discredit me because I have no interest in gender change or anything like that. You know, no. But this young woman went through the process, became a young boy, and ultimately ended up regretting it. And that's what they don't show. They don't show you that early along. All that they'll make it seem like is that the grass is greener on the other side, and that once you get your gender affirming therapy and you get your blockers, and once you get all of this stuff, life is just going to be so happy. And no, that's just not the truth. It's not the reality. And like I said earlier, you can live in that delusion as long as you want. But once life actually shows you how delusional you are, and, you know, you happen to be, 40 years old and it's too late, or you happen to already go through with the surgery and it's too late, that ignorance won't be so blissful anymore. And you can't reverse this stuff. You know, a young woman right here lost her breasts, and came back around and realized that she actually did want to be a woman. But unfortunately, at this point, she can't just reattach her breast back on. That's just not how it works. That's why I think stories like this are important. They're important for people to see, because being young, like she said, in the public school system, I grew up in the public school system, and it's almost like you're a victim to to whatever's going on in that school. You really just throwing your kids into the wild, throwing your kids into the jungle. They may come back home and start arguing with you, and start saying that that you're not affirming their gender, all type of stuff. The public school sector it's wild, to say the least. But let me know how you felt about this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe on your way out the door. Till next time, you guys, I'm out of here. Peace.